First, though, as I'm sure you know, this Friday marks 1 year since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, triggering the largest armed conflict in Europe since the Second World War. The anniversary comes as President Biden made an unannounced visit to meet Ukraine's President Zelensky yesterday. Well, as you know, Susanna has been live in Kyiv all morning, joins me now. This was an important visit, wasn't it? It was a real morale booster, especially at this time.
Absolutely right. Symbolic, historic, and as you say, really important for the confidence of Ukraine, for the leadership and for the people as well. Completely unannounced, utterly secret, up until the moment that we saw pictures posted online of a motorcade, but we still didn't know who it was, no details. And then as we made our way out of the hotel, there was an air raid siren. We were on our way to interview the First Lady Olena Zelenska. Just at the moment, she was greeting President Joe Biden in the square behind me for that secret visit. It was just sprung on everybody. And in fact, the First Lady told us she only found out about it at 9 o'clock the night before it happened. So obviously top security around that. Historic because this is Joe Biden's first visit to Ukraine, setting foot on Ukrainian soil since the full-scale Russian invasion 1 year ago. So the First Lady told me that Ukrainians had been anticipating this visit, even though they didn't know when it was coming. They'd been waiting for it, and it clearly was vital for their morale and for, you know, the prospects of getting more ammunition, more weapons, more financial support.
No, absolutely. And you spoke exclusively, as you said, to the First Lady. She was very open, very honest. She talked about the horrors of this war. And of course, she talked about the effects on children and her own children as well.
My children are losing a lot and have already lost a lot during this time. They do not have enough contact with their father. Only speaking on the telephone doesn't give them the support they need, which is why we enjoy those rare moments when we are able to be together.
Astonishing women, so brave and so very strong. And from your point of view, Susanna, being there again, you know, a year on, how are people coping? I mean, is there still that sense of resolve there?
It's absolutely remarkable, Lorraine. I mean, I went to Borodianka on Sunday, one of the most devastated places. In the early days of the war, it was occupied by the Russians for a month. It is just about an hour outside of Kyiv. The buildings are devastated, and the children, you can see the blank look on young children's faces. There is so much devastation, there's trauma. But everybody there absolutely resolved. They are determined that Ukraine will defeat the Russians, that the Russians will be taken, removed from the country, and that they'll win. It's so interesting what President Zelensky's wife, Olena Zelenska, told me about their own personal situation, because she could have chosen to flee with her children. She could quite reasonably have gone outside of Ukraine and found a safer place to be while the war goes on. But she is a symbol of that staying power. And she revealed some horrifying news that there are 150 cases documented of sexual violence against women and children. Children as young as 4 years old and as old as 85. And those, she said, are just the ones who are brave enough to come forward. And she's doing, through her foundation, work to help with the trauma that all of these people have experienced. But there is no doubting the resolve and the resilience of the people that I've spoken to.
Susanna, thank you so much. I know you're back on GMB tomorrow. Thank you for talking to us. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.